Assalamualaikum everyone. I am Tansa Wadaj, student of Lad Campus Badin. Today in this video I will talk about some major linguistic concepts, and here it is an outline of my topic. First is lang and parole, second competence and performance, third comparative historical linguistics, fourth the purpose of comparative historical linguistics. So let's get started. Ferdinand de Saussure, Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure introduced aspects of language at the beginning of 20th century. Lang and parole in linguistics was introduced by the Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure. These two aspects, lang and parole, these aspects were introduced by Ferdinand de Saussure through his lectures, which was later collected from students' notes and published in book form in 1916. These two aspects have been discussed in his seminal book Course in General Linguistics. We discussed these two aspects in detail. Language has two aspects, lang and parole. First we have lang. What is lang? The lang is the actual is the French word which means language. In same way, lang means the system of language. It includes all the rules and conventions, for example, combination of sounds, formation of words, sentences, pronunciation, and meaning. Lang is abstract as these particular conventions exist in the minds of the speakers who belongs to that society that has created the language. In simple words, we can say language is a system that includes all the elements of a language. Second, we have a parole. What is parole? Parole means speech. Parole is the usage of the system, but it is not the system. It's usage of the system. It belongs to the individual and not to the society as a whole. Parole is the individual performance of language in speech or writing with those conventions of language that exist in the mind as lang. When we use them individually in a concrete form in actual speech or writing, they become example of parole. Parole is the actual sounds and sentences produced by an individual speaker or writer. That's we called language performance. For example, we have two speakers. One is English speaker and the other is Urdu speaker. The English speaker has his own complete English language system, which we call it language, lang. And on the other hand, Urdu speaker also has a complete system of Urdu language, which we call lang. Now, both of them, the English speaker said, "What are you doing?" This utterance or performance will be called parole. And in the same way, Urdu speaker said, "आप क्या कर रहे हैं?" So we will call it this utterance or performance as parole. So both of them gave the performance of their own system. We would call it parole, and the two systems that were in their minds, the system of their languages, we will call them lang. Then we have competence and performance. Noam Chomsky, full name of Abram Noam Chomsky, was born in 1928. This concept in linguistics was given by American linguist Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky Competence and Performance was proposed by American famous linguist Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky is a famous person who studies how humans use languages. He thinks that language is a special ability that only humans have. He also thinks that humans are both born with a part of the brain that helps them learn any languages. Sometimes Chomsky is called the father of modern linguistics. First, competence. According to Noam Chomsky, competence is the knowledge which is in our mind about a particular language. For example, you know how to make sentences, how to pronounce words, what words mean, and how to use grammar rules. You do not need to think about these things consciously. You just know them. Linguistic competence is like a hidden system that guides your language use. Second, it is the person's underlying linguistic ability to create and understand the sentences. It means that you have a hidden skill in your mind that lets you use your language. You can make new sentences that you have never heard before, and you can understand what other people say or write. You do not need to memorize all the sentences in your language. You just need to know how to combine words and rules, this hidden skill in your linguistic competence. Next, we have performance. It may, According to Noam Chomsky, performance is the use, expression, and manifestation of that knowledge. It means how you actually use your language in real situation. For example, when you speak or write, you are showing your linguistic performance. Linguistic performance is like a visible product that results from you linguistic competence. Performance is individual, means that you are unique in how you use your language. You have your own style, preference, strength, and weaknesses. You can show your personality and creativity through your language. You use language, it is your performance. Yes, if you use your competence in speaking or writing, it's called your performance. Comparative historical linguistics. Comparative historical linguistics is one of the oldest and most important branch of linguistics as it helps us understand the origin, development and diversity of human languages. So here we have first point. Historical linguistics is the scientific study of how languages change over time. It means that look at how languages are different or similar in the past and now. You can find out how languages were born, grew, changed, or died. You can also see how languages are related to each other like family members. Next, the relationship among languages and to reconstruct earlier stage of language. See that you compare how languages are similar or different from each other. You can find out how languages came from the same parent's language or split into different languages. You can also guess how languages sounded or looked like before they changed. This is what comparative historical linguistics do. The purpose of comparative historical linguistics to describe and trace the history of all languages that we can observe and to reconstruct their ancestor languages. It means that how languages are old or new, how they change over time, and how they are connected to each other. You can also imagine how languages were before we have any records of them. Second, to find out the force and rules that explain why and how languages change. It means that you want to discover what makes languages change and how they follow certain patterns. You want to know what causes languages to change, such as contact, innovation, simplification, etc. You want to see how languages change in different ways, such as sound, meaning, grammar, etc. If we say in simple words that the purpose of comparative historical linguistics is to learn about the history, how languages were born, how they grow, how they change, and how they are connected, and to see how languages are similar or different from each other. This is the purpose of comparative historical linguistics. I hope this video is very helpful for you. Thank you for watching.